All right, so we are back again to the double, triple secret Sept of the Hearth's Fire, set in this only slightly less secret Duluth, Minnesota, where Charlotte has had time to get a little love tap from a couple Therages, get some sleep, and well, have herself a wake up in the fine morning following. Quite the hell, really. And inevitably, she knows what's going to happen. They didn't used to call her data jockey for nothing. She is going to have to make reports. But this is a delicate situation. So, between that and the fact that, does she actually see the Cubs out scampering around doing their shit without Elena in tow?
Junkyard's got this one.
Yep. So she spots Junkyard and was perhaps thinking, oh, I should talk to Lily, or she looks busy. Maybe Lena looks over. Well, she doesn't have the kids, so yeah, she will just make the admittedly short walk from one cabin to the next, swinging by, as it were.
You can kind of get the tell that around this type of time, Samantha's usually probably gone shopping, or is, you know what I mean, getting the supply. You know what I mean. Samantha's doing the rounds and all that type of shit.
Doing her kinfolk shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like
She's
a
probably gone.
mouse.
Probably either gone to do, essentially she's probably doing household errands, but you can tell she's just not there. The house is suspiciously quiet.
Wow. Yeah, she'll come by. And is she on the knock knock enter status with Lena at this point?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, she gives like a knuckle wrap on the door and then, just tries the handle.
The door's open.
Oh,
Sorry, my mind
work.
blank there.
That is
Sorry.
that is okay.
Froze
Yeah.
for a bit. I was like, blah.
She just kind of does the little courtesy knuckle wrap and then, twists the handle and pokes her head in. Lena?
Didn't she in the hallway? There's nobody there. You can see in the living room there's no one there. You see probably a figure in more the silhouette of the kind of kitchen area. She also has that little small dining room as well. You'd recognize. It's kind of like a dining room / kitchen thing.
Yeah, she just closed the door behind her, let herself in, kind of walk down the hall, look left into the living room, look right into the other sitting room, head back towards the kitchen, just kind of sauntering. The hands kind of go out of habit into the pockets.
You see her there sitting in one of the big long chairs, staring out the window. You'll see the bottle of Yeah, no, it's Lena. That is hard, heavy Tennessee whiskey by the looks of things. She's just sitting there, Do you see the plume of cigarette smoke? She's just been staring out the window.
Charlotte will just. I mean, is there any response to her walking into the room? Anything,
Not really.
really?
I mean, you see Lena lift up the fucking bottle and take a swig out of it, you know what I mean? And just put it down on her lap again.
You said it's like a big long bench.
The big long kind of couch, those long extendable ones.
Hot. Yeah. In which case, she'll just come around and. I mean, not park herself right up alongside. Personal space is a thing, especially in this moment, but we'll park herself out just down the couch.
I mean, it's just staring there. It's like a numbed feeling as she's looking out, taking a pretty heavy swig of that drink. And there'll be like a drag of the cigarette as well as she puts it back in the ashtray.
Rough night?
I don't know. You told me. She takes another like easy swig, you know, that kind of slow swallow like that.
Have you even slept?
About 3 hours.
Better than nothing, I guess.
I suppose.
And yeah, she's trying not to stare, trying not to be odd about it, but there's still the occasional glance over, trying to kind of figure out how bad she is. Just, it's concerned.
You know what today is, Charlotte? Takes a long swig of the whiskey bottle. Like, whew.
No.
Today would have been the day that I would have been married for a number of years. And today is also the day that my brother died.
That does make it a hell of a day.
And the day before, just as you well actually know, when you arrived back, it was. So today is the day that I finally got to hear the tale of my former husband's people and the justice that was done for them.
That's a hell of a lot.
It's a hell of a day.
Yeah, it's a hell of a day.
You know, you can tell she's probably had a shower. Maybe she just stood in it. You know, it's that type of thing. Her hair's all matted and wet.
So is this the plan?
I had a shower at least.
I'd say that's a pretty solid start, all things considered.
What was it? I've been there before. Once.
In there?
Up the mountain.
Before it happened.
No. After. No, I didn't get to see Sept of the Starfall when I was young. I heard about it when I was over in Fafnir's Brood. They used to tell us about it. To take a drink. That and Pride's Fall. That's the Trimbenson home Sept here. My husband Ragnar told me when we were planning all this, he would take me there one day to see Sept of the Starfall. No, I saw Sept of the Starfall, and afterwards I went up north because there was things that you know, they didn't make sense, and I found it. Like I told you.
Yeah.
You heard them sing, right?
She actually cooks a very faint smile. I did. Yeah.
Takes a long, heavy drink. You know, I confronted Ajax over it. He told me it's what needed to be done for the good of the tribe, for the good of Clan Trimbenson, for the good of the Dread Wolf. It's what needed to be done. I never doubted my brother before. Even when the frenzy happened, I knew that was a frenzy. They happen. It's tragic, but they happen.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever doubted my brother.
At least you
First-
did.
Yeah, at least I did. I still rode in his pack, but I began to change. I think they were too blind to notice, and by the time I was really up and successful, Maria had gone north to Cold Harbor with her and the rest of them. This is a day of great joy, I imagine, for many. Torvi, Eric. I can still hear him yelling my name, you know, over that hill.
It's just
Reaching out.
a grimace.
She'll extend her hand very softly. Very, you can tell the whiskey's probably hit her at this point, but she's not like sloppy or, you know what I mean? It's not that.
Mm-hmm.
Reaching out his hand like that. Mighty and powerful Ajax.
Hope you still don't forget your choice.
Regret. There's a lot of things I regret, Charlotte. And no matter who he was, and what he became, he was still my brother. He was still their parent. And I made the right choice for my tribe and my people. I know what I did to the family and what I took away from them to make that right choice.
And just to make sure that Katie's not fucking up the story, didn't she have to basically choose to carry one of them off that field and took Mark Thorns?
Basically, Market Thorns was wounded but still mobile. Lena was their Galliard, their Faldox was dead. Ajax was swarmed. Lena made a choice essentially: is go down there and try and save Ajax and die doing it, or walk away and make it back and survive. But that wasn't all the choice Lena made. Lena left him there to die.
No, I thought she'd had to carry Mark to get her off the field.
I mean, that's what she told herself. That's what she justified it with. There is another part of her that left him to die for what happened.
Just to make sure that I am not fucking up massively. Was it Patema that got him in the end?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. So, yeah, she looks over. There may have been a cost, yes, but they have you. And I know that sounds shallow at a glance, but I haven't taught them to hate. They haven't taught any of us to hate.
I just taught them how to die, Charlotte. Just look over and takes a swig.
We didn't teach them that. You're blaming yourself for the consequences of what he did. That's not fair to you.
Just takes a drink. Doesn't really answer.
And it's not like you just taught them.
I think you're the only one left at this point.
Maybe from that group. That's because of things we chose to do. That's not because you taught us wrong. If I hadn't had you, where would I be?
A nice glasswalker, probably in a nice glasswalker city.
I'd rather be here.
You really mean that?
Yeah, actually. As weird as it sounds, I'd rather be here. I can't imagine not being here, not looking out for these people, not fighting all the things that have come here. Would have killed me if I don't know, been let to just do what I liked and never seen a corrective backhand, never gotten the discipline I needed, and just gone off and then heard about all these things. I couldn't do it.
How did Eric look out there? And he gave him the crown.
I looked at it for a long time. But it was kind of like you could see it put light to the tinder that was there. There was a fire in his belly. There was conviction. We found more than just the crown. Of course, we brought the crown back, but there was a tablet there Amy said it's how they get used to chronicle their stories with old symbols and images.
They have one similar in Prideful.
I guess that was theirs. And so
You brought an Ulrichsen with you. Look over, taking a drink.
I brought a packmate with me.
Packing with Ulrichsen. Smirks to herself. Takes another swig.
In my defense, he's an Olsen, not an Ulrichsen.
He's an Ulrichsen. Doesn't matter which family he is.
So is Leaf.
I still call him an Ulrichsen.
I bet you do.
Just remember, Ulrichsens want one thing. Glory. It's not a bad thing. I admire that a lot about them. They're driven people. Them and their families. They always push forward. But just be careful that that push forward doesn't drag you along into something you're not ready for.
Would be a brand new and exciting kind of day if someone was dragging me instead of being dragged by.
Your pats your cheek. The unscarred bit. Charlotte, you're a glasswalker. You have been raised here, and I have raised you well to understand my people. But I've seen you get swept up with Leaf's ideals. So just be careful. Don't let it get under your feet when you've got no ground yet.
You know what? She quickly changes tone and just nods. It's funny. It's the difference between her kind of cracking a joke at her own expense. She feels like that's what she does, sweeps people up and things happen. But no, it's the weirdest shift in just mood from someone who's joking from a similar point of status to someone who's taking advice.
The Wilson boy's got fire in him. Young, ambitious, no matter how much he tells you he isn't.
Oh, I see it.
Be careful to not let that whisper of fire not burn your body to the point where you'll end up going somewhere else. Ragabashus always are good like that. Especially ones that have ambition. He's not going out there to do you harm. He doesn't think so. He just wants to fight for what the right thing is.
At least so far. Seems like we both believe the same thing's the right thing.
You will. I've also heard that I've just heard things. And plus, I've been around my own tribe for a long time.
I'll take the advice.
Just remember that to them, you will always be a glasswalker. No matter how much you marry into the blood.
I've always only been a glasswalker.
Your children, if they choose, they will be Fenrir. But you'll be a glasswalker. Just remember that in the back of your head. It's not an insult. It's not something, it's so you don't get rejected or feel it.
I know I'm on the outside looking in. It's okay. Can still help from out here.
Yes, but just be careful. You've done thing that we've all wanted for a long time. And I'm glad there was a Fenrir to help do that, even though Fianna was there too.
Made a promise.
She clenches. I mean, you see it. Her fist does clench on the bottom. But it is still sickens me that a Glasswalker and a Fianna had to stand and do that when it should have been our own. It is no insult to the two of you and your deeds. But I'm still a Get of Fenris.
That's a nod. Again, she reels it back, tones it down. It just nods.
We should tap her chest. It's all we have. Pride.
I don't think for a second that you wouldn't tell me if I was going too far.
I'm not. I'm explaining to you. Some of these people will feel the same way. Some would be a lot more positive than I would be. Smirk as she takes another heavy drink.
So, kind of just the, oh yeah, kind of glance. One brow kind of like tweaks for half a second, like,
Well, there are more traditional Fenrir everywhere. I'm sure you've seen your fair share of them now at this rate.
Yeah, I like to think I've seen definitely more than usual for your average glasswalker.
But just be careful. Just because you were raised among the Fenrir doesn't mean you are one. That's my only advice.
Oh no. No, that was made abundantly clear. Don't worry.
By whom?
She probably is like idly thumbing her lip where the scar, crosses it. Let Maria have a go at me. I mean, she would have gotten it anyways, but I wanted to see what she'd do.
She takes a long swig. And I bet my sister did everything to make sure that she looked every ounce of the queen she thinks she is.
Oh, she did.
It is how she always was, even when we were younger. When I was fresh Cleith and she was still fostering, what she would do with her pack. I used to watch. She would pick a person to fight. But what most people did not know is Maria would watch that person for weeks, assess their form, assess everything about them, their weakness, the way they held their stance wrong, and she would pick that person. So by the time she fought them, she would have already known everything about them and then strike them in the one place where their leg moved too slow, where their arm wouldn't work. And I used to watch that, and I'd ask her why. And then she turned to me, and she takes another hefty swig. Because a queen must know her people, Lena. They must know everything about them. And when they do beat them, they must make sure that they never forget. So when they come back at you again, they'll remember the pain.
Even as a fostering queen.
Even as a Cleith, the queen.
It was kind of a nose wrinkle. Not anything meaningful, just kind of like,
Fenrir, the fact that she could say that and back that up, you can see why people follow.
No. I am not thrilled to report that she seems to keep to the same tactic.
The tactic is even more important now. You're going to have to learn that same tactic too.
That's why I
You're
want
an
her to do it.
You're an
Let me
Adrian
see.
now. And you have a pack of young bucks that are following you around like dogs, biting at your heels to make sure they get some of your glory.
I think so.
Who do you think I am, Charlotte?
I know who you are. I just didn't know you thought so badly of them.
That was not an insult. Takes a drink and kind of looks at you really confused. You know what I mean? Stares at you and get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a moment of like culture shock. It happens now and again, even still. I like to think they're in it for a few things besides the glory.
The one that clings onto your heel like a puppy. No, he's in it for the glory.
She kind of finally shakes her head, like just because. Well, she's pretty sure that's Wilhelm, and she just. Ooh.
Remy is in it for the glory of believing that he can bring about the change he wants to. The world of mythological heroes and adventures, the ideological perspective of one young who is denying the world around him. It's a noble pursuit, even for many Ragabash.
Not sure how much I can judge if that's practically what I'm doing, isn't it?
But it's different for a Glasswalker and a Get of Fenris.
She actually sits up, and I mean, it's attentive. It's almost student-like. How?
You want the world to change and hold everybody to fight as one sept. Holds out her arms and does the kumbaya hold. One sept, one people. Very child of Gaia, many would say. But yeah, it's a modern day perspective people like to idealize themselves with. Remy has a similar attitude, but the one fundamental difference is fundamental. He lives and breathes Clan Ulriksson. He is loyal to you and to them. And he looks at Clan Ulriksson like I imagine I used to look at, Lily used to look at, many of us used to look at members of Clan Trimbles and other things. Some of us still do. But that is Fenrir. We are heroes, we are adventurers, like Runfer. Runfer is an exception to this. Noble man, pursues his goals, has an idea, but still sticks to the principles of which he was raised by.
To make it happen.
Exactly. You are ideology. He is perspective. He won't chase the same things as you because he knows the same things won't work, but he'll fit them to suit the ways in which he was raised. That is the Fenrir way. Straightforward. Fit what suits. And be strong enough to fight for it. You are ideology. You think, you hope, you pray, you try to apply common sense to things that in a nation that's raised by blood and death. But you hope and you try to add the humanity to it. It works sometimes and it doesn't. But that's the difference between you two.
Mm.
And here's the thing. The day Remy finally sees all of us the way we all see each other. And then again, there are many good men and women of Clan Orixon, the same as Clan Trimpenson. But the day one of those people reveals himself to be one thing will be the day he finally realizes what being a Ragabash is. Whereas you are changing slowly. Poke, gives him the assessing little nod. You just have to let go and stop worrying. But she just shrugs. You're an Adrian now, so I can't mom you forever. She just takes a long drink, smirking to herself.
I mean, you could try. I wouldn't put it past you. You've still slapped me in the back of the head. I'm pretty sure I could become a legend and you would still slap me in the back of the head.
That's because you still make Cleus choices.
If you stop worrying, what keeps you from forgetting to account for those things?
Can for which?
The things you would worry about.
Don't give me that. Turn suddenly like, ooh, Lena.
Ooh, oh shit.
No, that's not what you worry about. You second guess yourself. That's what you do. That is not keeping account of those things. That's the excuse you use to second guess your own inadequacy that you have no basis of format for.
Charlotte gets Ragabash so hard, so fast, she needs a minute.
Because you, madam, still haven't let go of Juno's guilt and you still hang on to it like sandpaper. Because without it, then you could not justify your mistakes. So, does the little tip of the bottle and then takes a drink.
Charlotte continues to be Ragabash so hard, she has to remember how to breathe. Fuck.
Charlotte just collapses off the chair like, oh,
No!
I'm done, Siegfried.
She
That's it.
does. Perfect 180-degree angle. It fucking falls out. Whew. I think I just got whiplash. Kind of rubs the back of her neck like, yeah. You know, he knows about me. This guy, Xavier, glances over.
Of course he does.
Maria made sure he did.
Of course she did. Takes a drink. It's literally her job. She's a galliard, Charlotte. A politically savvy one. I thought you would have enough experience of that from Carve the Path. She nudges you.
She takes the nudge and kind of does the buh.
And you can fester and festoon about, well, she did what Fenrir would do. You are her niece, and she boasted your claim to an enemy. You could say yes, well, she parlayed. But Maria both held you up and presented you as a target.
It's the latter part that I'm more worried about. As much as I gripe about Carves, he hasn't put target signs on my back.
Hasn't he?
If he has, I haven't seen them.
Or perhaps it's just a different perspective from tribe to tribe.
Maybe.
After all, she's put attack on the back many, many times.
He's put a target on what?
My back. She has. My sister Lena, the noble den mother.
I seem to remember at least one of those instances, if
Of
not two or
course.
three.
It is inviting. It is both praising and inviting those who think they are strong enough to challenge so she can see you fall. It is the Fenrir way. But it is also presenting to those watching who she dislikes in order for them to gain their favor. A political galliard, you see. A queen.
Finally, shoves off. Well, the shoes probably got kicked off at the door, but tucks the feet up on the couch. Kind of sits cross-legged, plops the elbows, sticks the chin on top of her hands, and thinks about it for a second. I know this is a weird segue, but you said the problems that I haven't let go of Juno, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like I need to forget who she was or what happened, but I need to stop carrying the things that she put there. Don't I?
That's what you get. Pat pat. As if you did it! You know what I mean? Yes.
Well,
That's what I've been telling you for the past 5 months.
Sometimes earwax buildup, it's a problem, okay? It's
Or twack at the back of the head.
dunk. Oh, she does the wince in the back of the head rub.
Stop being so stubborn. I get enough of that from Evelyn. She takes another long swig.
There's a
And
bit
she's
of a
even
wry smirk.
more stubborn than you were when you were her age.
Are you sure? I was pretty stubborn.
No, you're more cryy than she was.
I wasn't crying.
And you did the huff and puff.
I owned the huff and puff, okay? Oh, she definitely doesn't seem to cry about it when she gets her licks. Jesus. Cover that. She complains, but she doesn't cry about it.
No, that girl is going to be a Shadow Lord.
Are that sure?
Good nods. I can tell.
Huh.
She does what most Shadow Lords do and internalize.
Super healthy.
Uses it as a shield rather than what you use it as, which is a crutch jab into your ribs.
Charlotte slowly deflates as a pole is poked in her side, in her armor. Just blah, blah, blah. Oof. Jesus. It's like your finger has laser sighting. Oof. So, at the risk of getting businessy, just for a second, I'm gonna have to report to Skyripper about going out.
Mm-hmm.
How much does he know?
About which?
Any of what we just pulled? What it's supposed to bring around?
He
Any of
knows
it?
the basics, but not the internal matter. How much do your pack know? She looks over.
Duncan knows as much as you all have seen fit to tell him.
And what
He
about
didn't even know what we were doing there until we were there, and he didn't believe me when I told him where we were until he took a really good look around.
And what's he saying now?
He's stricken. It's like he walked into a book, and it's one thing to hear a story. It's another thing to walk where they walked and to see what we saw.
Be careful of that.
I'm watching.
Are
I'm
you?
listening.
Or are you stricken as well and hoping that he will channel what you cannot?
As tempting as it is to live vicariously through him, no.
Are you sure? Lift up the chin. Because I know the look, especially as you keep rubbing that lower lip where I guess she hit you. And it is tempting to react, and particularly using a Firesome Ragabash to do so.
No, I don't want to react.
And considering he is a wild card, as I do not know him, Lily does not know him, the people who have been here before this do not know him.
No, he's.
She pull in Charlotte like mid, like as she's going, no, he's, and then she pulls in, like, ooh.
Ugh.
Are you really comfortable with putting that target on his back? And that guilt? Because they'll look for it.
Doesn't feel guilt. Feels outrage.
What is the first stage of grief? Denial, then anger. Are you comfortable with putting that target that the cult will look for? They will look to him. They will study who you're with. Are you comfortable with that, knowing what you have just given him? And are you really watching, Charlotte?
No, I'm not comfortable. But I have to accept that people are going to get these targets put on them or I have to walk by myself. There's no in between. There's no happy, magical place where.
So are you going to tell your Black Fury? Are you going to openly talk to them about it in the pack link? And then one day it'll just slip out when tempers are raised. The more people you tell, the more they realize. And I'm not saying we walk alone, but we're not in the position where we can start coming out of the shadows, are we?
Oh, and I understand how important it is.
Have you told them who the members are?
Members.
Lily told you, didn't she?
No, I haven't.
Well, that is something. For his reaction is still genuine. Means when they look for him lying, they won't see it.
He doesn't know.
No, but he
Can't
knows
lie.
enough. He knows enough now that he will ask you questions. And who does he think? Does he think that it was all the Trimmelson clan who did that? Have you asked him?
No. I haven't.
That is perhaps something you should do.
It's such a balancing act because if I ask him, then it means I have to clarify for him. I can't ask him, do you think it was all of them? And have him say yes, and then have him see me talking to you, talking to Lily, without making him distrust me. I would have to explain at least something. And then it's more than he knows.
So you're going to leave him alone and hope that he doesn't do another Juno and pull us all in the shit again?
I'm not leaving him alone. I'm listening, I'm watching, I'm talking to him. I can't afford to look away from any of them.
We will see. As far as Skyripper, he knows what I told him, which is that Eric is planning to restore bloodlines of a lost tribe to help his ascension onto the throne of Wolfsmaw. He has already gained Clan Oryxon's highest ranking, a rune, aside from Siggy Oryxon's support.
There's
He
a
didn't,
blink.
he didn't ask about Torvi. I merely mentioned that my sister likes to hold on to things. He didn't ask any more questions. After all, it's because of her the Oryxon bloodline is still alive. It would be easy to assume that she was holding on to some remnant of the Sigurdsson one to make sure that was married off into her family. For anyone that's politically savvy.
But you did tell him that
I
Eric
did not.
needs to.
Of course I did. Skyripper is one of the best galliers you can have at your side for such a task. And he knows how to keep secrets when he needs to. After all, he has been planning something for the Sept for a long time.
It's an inquisitive glance.
Talk to him, not to me.
I will.
But as far as I go, Remy, now that he does know, means that he needs to be made aware of things. Not the full extent, but if he goes yapping, he puts all of us at risk. Not just you, not just me or Lily, but the very
Everything.
everything. And the question you have to ask yourself is, can you trust the Cleath with that burden? Your Fianna, he has made an oath. That is how you trap Fianna, their passions. But you will now need to start considering how much do you trust your pack to keep their mouths shut. I trust mine. I trust my Silverfang brothers. Hanging Talons of Gleaming Heights is he's better at than I am. And Mark of Thorns has been with me through everything. Can you say the same of Melanthe and Sylvie?
Not yet.
Well, then find out before you bring them on missions like that again. Just gives you the pat on the head, because otherwise, well, I heard about what Sylvie was saying.
That's why she stayed home.
Good. Good. I don't know the full extent of what you've done in Wisconsin, but I've heard enough that she was going around asking for a gray fox.
There's just the forehead down into the hand, rubs down the face.
So, imagine that I'm not your friend.
Turns of lands.
Well, think about it. Any clever ragabash or politically savvy person, they hear the Grey Fox. Sylvie's been known to hang around Charlotte. Sylvie's from Wisconsin. Contact with the Grey Fox. What does that mean? What does Charlotte gain through that? What does Sylvie gain? The Grey Fox is a prominent Fianna from a prominent Fianna family. You see what I'm saying?
I do. I hadn't stepped quite that far back.
No, thankfully you haven't. Because I've heard no mention of it again. I don't know what you did, but I know that there is silence, which tells me that you probably nipped it in the bud. But it serves as a warning. And a lesson that you need to take heed of, even in one so as you now, as mighty as you are as an Adrian. Scarred spider, I hear they're calling you now.
Well, they are. You know the irony to this, and at least one of the marks in his favor. He was instrumental in nipping that in the bud. Glances aside.
Like I told you before, the more you try to tell me, the more it looks like you're trying to convince yourself he's trustworthy.
Oh, it's digesting it again. Just
I hope you don't tell that to everybody.
oh, not quite. I'm sure I haven't talked to a couple people yet.
I'm just saying, think about what you say rather than just how it sounds.
Think about the fact that I feel the need to say it at all and what that
Precisely.
conveys in the process.
Now you're learning, Charlotte.
Always.
Well, it takes a long drink, and I don't mean to sound like a bitch when I say this. Learn faster. Particularly with what you've done now. Now they're going to be coming for real.
Yeah, they are.
So, get your Black Fury bitch out of her hut, if you have to drag her by the hair. And tell the Iverson girl that if she speaks one loose tongue, you'll take out her tongue. If you need to. If you need to go and be what we raised you to be it. Remember, you are the scarred spider now. You've seen more battle than they have. Own it. And stop being a Cleith. People follow strength. Pat, pat your hand. Why do you think nobody messes with me?
Is it a wry smile?
Am I wrong?
No? No, you're not.
Or, if you want to be all bubblegum and pop like Cora, then have a Daemon and a Ragnar Carlo behind your back.
It's a bit of a rice market bet.
Because I'll tell you what, I've heard about what they're doing. That's clever. So be clever, Charlotte. But seriously, if you have to drag her out by the hair, drag her. That's the only way sometimes people learn. She just rolled grumble.
She's been out.
Has she?
She has? She didn't burst into fire when she saw the sun either. It was the damnedest thing.
Oh, I hear different stories. Just smirk.
You know, so many stories are going around these days.
Oh, of course, in the Den Mother, I hear everything.
From the mouths of babes.
From the mouths of babes, from the mouths of former Cleats who were under my tutelage, from Fosterns who were under my tutelage, from Adrians now under my tutelage. They'd tell their mother everything.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy when you say it like that.
It's because I'm not my sister and I don't relish the power, but I'm not afraid to use it.
No, you
But
aren't.
I know what they're calling Melanie behind her back. Pretty soon it will be a deed name. That's how it starts.
We'll see.
You can say we'll see, but I know the stay home, it's gonna stick eventually. And at a place like this where survival is paramount to the Sep's core, that's not a name you want.
No, it's not.
So, best when you grab in the hair, get right at the scalp, so you get at the root, and twist, so she can't lock out of it, and pull.
Right. Noted.
Used to work on you all the time.
Oh, I hated it.
Exactly. Worked on Maria too. She used to get so mad.
Oh God. There's like the little glance over, like, oh God, you really?
I did it to all my children who disrespected or didn't know what they were required of them. It's the most effective way without insulting them.
Not
Sometimes you have to.
insulting to get dragged by the hair.
Not in the way you think. Sometimes it's a sharp reminder that you need to buck up your eye.
Mm. Oh. I was to bring another bottle when I come back around, but I do need to talk to Skyriper.
She just gives a nod.
How long is Samantha out?
She has gone to the heart of the cairn. Takes a swig. She normally goes there on Thursday.
I'm gonna assume that means she'll be there a while.
Nods, probably yes. If Marcus is there, she'll be there a long while.
It's just kind of like the blank, blank. Okay. Well, then I will make sure to come back around.
Excuse a shrug.
Goes ahead and heaves up.
Yeah, then I'll reach over to the small radio, and I mean, you hear the fucking Viking metal that comes on, the big, real tribal shit.
Oh, at least she's listening to very lively music.
I can put it in the
Yeah.
side chat because
Oh God. Ooh, gimme. Yes. Yeah, there's just kind of the blink blink of like, oh, all right. And yeah, just give a bob of the head, polite as you like, and go ahead to go tuck her feet into her shoes. Head out. Talk to Boss Man.
Boss Man's at his usual place.
Dun-na-na. Yep. Comes wandering around to his #usual place. Offers the chin tip. She is the good girl.
And he just looks over, you know.
I'm doing for a report.
What are you reporting?
Took a trip north.
I heard for a fostering challenge.
Went through Oldsmall.
That's what usually happens when you go north, yes?
It does, doesn't it? Jordan, how much was there another significant jump in population since the last time she was there? I
Yeah.
know there's already one. Ooh.
Yes. You haven't been there in a hot minute, so yes, there was. You haven't been there since the proper expansion, like the beginning stages of the expansion. Now that the expansion's complete, it's like, oh.
They've been growing in numbers the same way they've been growing in land.
I've heard the reports.
We were invited in, accepted the hospitality. Told them we were coming through to investigate the wild storms.
Mm.
Learned some little bit about them, at least, from the Therages while we were there.
Well, that was good.
And I'll be taking that to the Therages, unless you'd like to hear it too.
I'm sure they'll give me a far more detailed summary.
Very probably. And yeah, honestly, she will, in the name of making this a little faster and simpler, will recount, trip up there, the kind of numbers she saw, the kind of action she saw. The odd brush with the storm, because let's be fair, the whispering was part of what was mentioned, but if it was the same thing, then they managed to slide past it. She isn't sure. And we'll honestly probably just say, this was made fairly clear by the Howl. Alistair did succeed in his challenge. They were able to go, able to see, able to tell the tale. To win his support and to bring back what we saw and heard as well for Eric.
Nod.
Turns out whatever cairn was once there or may still be had enough power in it to grant us the Moonbridge home directly. I don't know, I didn't quite understand whether the implication by the spirits there was that it was the last of the power it held, or it was all it could muster in this case after everything that had taken place.
Typically, a cairn that's been that's been faded like that, normally it would have maybe small patches of gnosis from what I've been told. Maybe that was more of the last of it.
Could have been. But I wanted you to at least be properly aware of the conditions of the trip, passing through Wolf's Maw, why they believed we were there. And I imagine by now they know we're home. After a howl like that.
More than likely.
If I can ask, has there been any word, any sign from these Shadow Lords from St. Cloud?
What do you mean?
After what happened, I imagined. I mean, they can just sit in silence, but I'd hoped there would be some attempt to make contact.
Not of yet, but I gather they're probably preparing time. Maybe they're assessing numbers.
Their own?
Perhaps. Could be a number of things.
Any thoughts on the matter or actions you'd like me to take?
I know Carve the Path is organizing something to bolster our reserves. If that goes wrong, I will. I would rather reach out from a position of strength. That way, if there is anything, we can make sure that we are the ones that are, not on the back foot.
There's a nod of agreement.
So, I believe some of your pack may be involved in it. We will see what he is organizing. However, if that does not work out, I will have something for you to organize. So for now, we will see what we can garner. Keep an eye out in the cities, anything like that, to see if there's any activity. And I'll keep a more watchful eye. We are both in a sort of stalemate at the minute.
I assume that they just will have it completely canvassed number-wise.
Along our protectorate, yes, in the suburbs. There's a couple of areas exposed, but there is only so much in the Weaver City. And thankfully we have the Shadow Lords and the Hanged Man. So check in with them. Let's keep an eye out on what we have. I suspect we're not the only ones who are trying to make sure that we are coming from a position of strength.
I imagine not. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Is there anything else you wish to tell me?
She mulls it for a moment. Have you been given a full report from Perfidy's recovery?
Not. Siege Engine gave it to me, and he said that it was brief, but it's what he could get out of her that she wished to talk about.
She nods slowly.
I know the grisly details, but there is not a lot.
I have more men to report on the mission that brought her back.
I've heard of it. Why are you? This gives an eyebrow raise.
She just kind of displays the hands. If it needed further completion, I was offering.
I've heard of what you all did in terms of getting Perfect back. Although the Court of Wisconsin thing, I was surprised with. But
I didn't expect them to make it an offer.
which aspect?
I told you that I meant to meet with them. I didn't know they would have eyes on Perfidy.
I imagine whoever organized it probably heard the name and took advantage of that they know her deed name and where she is from. It could have been anybody. We could be saying the same situation. Jasmine could be back and we could be still looking for Perfidy. My guess is that it was whoever they found.
Oh no, you're probably right. I would like to make it known to you, though, that I had to enter into an agreement in order to secure Perfidy's retrieval.
Siggy did mention something to that effect.
How are ties being made?
I imagine there are.
And before a month has passed, I will be declaring myself an ally to the Voncares.
Looks down. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Well then, welcome then, Charlotte App von Clare of House von Gleaming Eye.
There's a wry smile when she echoes the oh boy. At least he doesn't look mad, and that's good.
It's more as a shake of the head, like, oh, you walked into that one, miss. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Nothing I can do to stop you. It's that type of look, like, oh, nope, you're on your own there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that, again, it's
Simplifying, you know.
yeah, it's a vague gesture, and all the same, it seems like pertinent information for the home folk.
I'm not disputing it. As long as you have not signed over the keys of the set to the man, whatever side deals you wish to make, that is your business, as long as they don't indirectly cause something to the sept to that effect.
Of course.
I did hear, though, that you came up with the idea to offer one of the Black Furies.
But she kind of licks her teeth. He mentioned it in jest. And she offered to try.
The Black Fury.
If she hadn't offered, I wouldn't have done it.
Just gives her the let's roll Scarper's little thing. Intelligence. Let's see what he's heard from the gossip trains.
Oh boy.
There's 10. Did Lee Forkson get the same option?
I assume he's saying, did he get the same option to basically say yay or nay?
Yeah, basically is what he's asking. Very casually. It's just the casual little,
In a very technical kind of way, you could say.
There's
so.
no technical about it, Charlotte. You're talking to a Silverfang. Just folds his arms, smirking. Like, don't you try and outregal me. You know what I mean? In courtly affairs. I am the courtly affairs.
I obviously can't make a promise on the part of other people, but I did promise to do everything in my power to make it happen. And so I was honest.
And I'm assuming Lee Forkson said yes. Naturally.
Naturally.
Just gives a nod. Then he had no choice. Smirking to himself, shaking his head. Not like he's angry, it's just, oh, I know that game.
You know what? I'm rolling. Because nope. I know he's going to win, but I'm going to roll anyways.
What's he doing?
I am subterfuging the fuck out of her expression.
Dare to challenge Silverfang. Your empathy? Very well. Make your own, Charlotte.
I said, I don't think I'll win, but I have to try.
Tell me about your mother.
Jesus Christ! I mean, I'll
With his
put.
empathy, with his empathy specialty, yeah. Now tell me about your mother, Charlotte.
Oh, Charlotte is. She doesn't regret the decision, but she is certainly not proud of herself, and she is doing her best to keep that. You know what? I'm a big girl, and I did the thing, and I'm gonna stand by it. But she got shoved into the deep end of the pool, and she's not proud of the thing she did.
Heavy lies the crown, eh, Charlotte Sullivan?
I mean, do I get a crown for this? Because that'd be a great consolation prize.
You wanted to play. You wanted to be the Adrian, and now you're playing one. This is the Silverfang court.
I've got to get better at fourth dimensional chess.
No, you've got to get better at standing your ground. And knowing when not to play and when to play. It's all well and good to jest. But you have to learn if you want to win. Or not be yoked around to the point where you're nothing seen in the eyes of many as nothing but the polite word is servitor.
The response is not quite pure impulse, but it's definitely something that just kind of like practically a light bulb pops on over her head as she glances over. What'd you teach me?
Teach you what?
At least the first couple steps of this whole song and dance.
We've been teaching you since you were a Cleith. Lena has, anyway.
Everyone does it a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm. But everyone may do it no matter how different they may, but not listening, not taking it in or taking it for granted is another matter entirely. And this lesson you cannot teach. This lesson that you've experienced is the thing that you learn. Because everyone has made a blunder in the political standpoint. Now you have to figure out a way to crawl yourself back to the point where you can now stand on your own 2 feet again. And be thankful. You have not made a bad deal. It is more that you took a sharp lesson.
It's a nod. Kind of a resigned one. I suppose I'll figure it out.
It's not about figuring it out. That right there, pointing, that is not the attitude to take.
And what is?
Accept the defeat and move on. And learn the next time you face Jasper Von Care, you will practice, you will know, you will study the ticks. But sitting there going, well, I suppose I will figure it out. Oh, woe is me. That will not serve you. That is inviting more defeat.
Wasn't meant to come across as woe is me.
That's how it comes across, Charlotte, even with the bitter tone in your voice.
And she just kind of, it's a weird little kind of helpless like shake of the head. She's kind of at a loss because she's like, I need help. No. Figure it out. Okay, I'll figure it out. No, you're fucking up. And she's just like, then I'll study.
All right.
What am I doing wrong now?
Have I said you're doing anything wrong?
You sounded disappointed.
I'm not.
Unless there's any other matter of the reports that you need me to clarify.
I don't have any need of you, if that's what you're asking.
Well, then I suppose I need to have a word with the therapist.
If that's what you want to do. It's, stretches a bit.
But I mean, she even starts to turn. She pauses. Finally turns properly back instead of just, casually tossing the idea over her shoulder because that's not right. Turns herself back around. For what I said the last time we talked. Saying I didn't mean to doesn't mean I didn't do you insult. Sorry.
It's already forgotten.
Thank you.
Don't thank me.
Why?
Because I told you not to.
Finally gets her to crack a faint grin just because, oh, well, if that's the case.
You can apologize and I'll accept it. That does not mean that I'm not still twitches, offended, but I am man enough to accept an apology for what it is.
I don't apologize thinking it undoes what I've said.
I didn't say that.
Oh, just reassuring you.
You don't
What
need
is
to
that?
reassure me, Charlotte. If I didn't think you meant the apology, I would have backhanded you for being fake.
Fair enough.
That's how we Silverfangs are. Don't take it as some sort of grave revelation. It is merely how some Silverfangs be, especially of my house. Straightforward.
Can't say I don't appreciate it.
Just a shrug. I hear from a little bird that your Black Fury's going over there. Not for the marriage.
Works a row?
To see Daniel Bordeaux.
Do you?
Looks over. I do.
And I mean, she doesn't look annoyed at him. It's just this abrupt interest, and it's reflex. She just kind of watches. It's not that she thinks he's being dishonest. It's Skyripper.
Victoria and Bordeaux and I have an understanding, and if your Black Fury thinks she can sneak a spirit to talk to Daniel Bordeaux without Victoria Bordeaux watching her every move on set, then she really does not know what she's dealing with. I was sent an inquiry. Of course, they accepted the invitation. The Bordeaux are a friendly family, but I was sent an inquiry to, was this an official visit? So she could put it on the books. I have said it was, but I'm asking you. This is the first time you've probably seen Skyripper. Like, he's normally really, like, you know what I mean? It's Skyripper. It's the first time he looks serious. Why is she going there? Is it for SEPTA business, or is this something you have told her to do for another reason?
There's that sharp moment where you can tell that she, for at least a hot second, is biting her tongue because she hates nothing more than having to display the fact that she doesn't have control over the people under her. It is like that, just so.
I mean,
bitter
that's not what he's hinting at. He's like, did you order this, or is this something? You know what I mean? It's basically, I'm asking you, Alpha. You know what I mean? It's that type of. It's very wormfoolish. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's hinting that you don't have control over people. It's just, did you forget to
No,
double check me? That type of shit.
but the honest answer that she's going to give him, because it is Skyripper, is going to make her look like an idiot, and she hates that.
Oh, but just for Charlotte's sake, it's not like he's calling you out. I just want that to be perfect.
Oh no! She's just bracing herself for how mad she's going to be that she has to say it. She's not mad at him. She doesn't think that he's doing anything wrong. She doesn't think that any response she gets is in any way wrong on his part. She just hates looking inept and inefficient. I was not aware that she was looking to speak to Daniel, but I will be having a word with her on it, particularly for not going through the appropriate channels.
All I'm gonna say is this, Katie.
Oh, Charlotte is. You know, it's a good thing this isn't a cartoon. There'd be steam. It'd be tragic. God damn it. Why are you like this?
Hang on, let me get the appropriate picture for Skyripper's
Oh
exact
no.
reaction. Let me just find out now.
Oh no.
I mean, a little bit.
I'm ready. Do it.
He's a little bit annoyed.
Oh, he's not the only one. This is Annoyed Town, population them.
No, that one's no. I can't use that one. That is sassy Skyr, sassy mad. Not sassy mad.
Nope. Sadly, Skyripper is one of the few people on Sept she just won't
Nope.
lie to unless it is for a damn good reason. A damn, like, life-saving reason.
Nope, that's more sassy mad. Jesus, he's lots of sassy mad pictures. Oh. Oh. I have to make a roll anyway, because he would be annoyed about this. This is... Okay, nope, we're fine. The Galliard does not lose his collective mind. Katie, everything's good.
I'm trying to decide if I should be taking a rage. I don't
If you
know.
how annoyed is Charlotte? Like, how aggravated is she?
It wouldn't be that bad, but it's Daniel.
They,
Yeah,
the rage,
fuck
yeah,
it.
take the rage. If
I'm
she
just gonna
is
roll.
legitimately angry about that, then take the rage.
She is. She's doing her best to internalize it, but she's pretty fucking mad.
Oh no, you're fine.
Thankfully not dangerously mad, just really mad.
Okay. Let me get the appropriate music because I need music to play Mad. I need music to play Mad Skyripper.
Oh no.
He's on 5 rage. It's about to come. And he is annoyed about this because he's the worm phone. Is people doing all this shit behind his back? You know what I mean? He will be annoyed about this shit. So I will switch the pictures in 3, 2, 1. There you go, Katie. It's like he goes from this, I would not say hard stare. It's like the way Skyper always looks at you very analytically, if you get me. Like he's assessing, he's studying, he's doing Galliard shit.
Mm-hmm.
When you tell him, I don't know, his face mold, you can see he's taking a rage. You know what I mean? You know what someone akin to that is taking, and there's that initial like snarl in his face, and he doesn't outright like snarl at you or snap at you. No, his fists close and the vein, you can see the veins starting to pop up in his neck, and he pretty much says that in the deep voice as well. The must I bear everyone's weakness and ineptitude? It's my own and enough for me to handle. Find out what she is doing, and if it is anything other than the goodness of this sept, I will drag her to the very center of the heart of the cairn, and I will beat her until she learns that you do not, in the time of war, act without the wormfoe's position, which is mine, unless she wishes to challenge me. Is that what she wishes?
All right.
Then find out what your pack is doing and get your pack under control. Or find me an alpha who can. He just starts storming off. Like, you can see he even, like, flings the fucking practice sword he was swinging around with and it belts off the tree. It doesn't go into the tree. It's nothing cool like that. It just, it's like, 5 rage! You know what I mean? And flies, 5 rage is 5 rage. You know what I mean?
It is. I'm sorry, but that was amazing.
But it's such a... I'm going to say this. It's such a, like... I mean, Skyripper doesn't get angry often. But when he does, I mean, Charlotte's seen him. He has a voice of thunder in him. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And she hasn't been the subject of that in a long time, and she's not a big fan of it. But at least she's not mad at him.
At least but like, then again as well, like for Charlotte, it's not like he throws you or humiliate. It's just, you know what I mean?
Oh, no. No, he is fine. He is well within his right. She is not angry at him. She lets him get his fucking walk off because, Jesus fucking Christ, she is not going to interrupt that, at the very least. But once he's had his fucking bit, there's a heel spin. And she is going to go do something. Because she needs to fucking cool down.
I'll let you cool down first before you go see Forgotten Earth if you still want to see her.
Oh yeah, she, I don't know, goes by the fucking Crag's Gauntlet or something. Just goes somewhere and just pounds the fuck out of something.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's just, are you fucking serious? Just fucking just punching and muttering angrily to herself the whole time. Just
I will show you what that exact like one. I was going to use this one, but I thought it was too sassy. This is like temper tantrum mad.
Oh, God.
I'll show you. Just watch that gif. But I just felt like the other one's too perfect.
Okay, that's pretty good.
But I thought that wasn't the right one, so I think the other one's far more like, oh, do you know what I mean? But anyway,
Yep. Nope. She takes a minute and she punches something inanimate into submission and mutters and snarls to herself the whole time because that was bad. And yeah, Melanthi's going to be getting a ping through the pack link that I will put through there eventually. But first, she is going to do what she set out to do today. She is not going to forget, and she's not going to put it off. She is going to go find Forgotten Earth. I don't care what side of the gauntlet I have to be on. I'm going to do the thing I set out to do.
you actually find her the Tellurian this time. It looks like she is coming out of the bar of wood. It's probably, you would immediately guess she's probably doing some form of chimnage or, you know what I mean? Like planting, that various thing, tending,
She's doing
keeper duties.
Thayard stuff.
Yeah, keeper duties pretty much is in summary, So she's just walking along, probably after putting down the little wicker basket thing she was using, and is dusting her hands off, that type of thing. Like, yes, you know what I mean?
And yeah, Charlotte will come around and is not by any means trying to sneak up on the Fury. That is a bad plan. But it's fairly straightforward. As she comes over, lifts a hand. A moment of your time.
Of course, right? What is it?
I will make a similar report on part of this later to the Master of the Rite, of course. We were able on our trip north to speak to those who had more directly heard, still secondhand, of the storms to the north. And at least one person who had survived one.
Really? Who is this?
He is known as the Doomclaw.
I have heard of this Doomclaw. How did he survive?
From what I understand, the way that the story goes is that he was set out on his Adrian challenge and was offered the chance to bring one thing with him into the storm. And he said he would need only the fire in his heart and was blessed accordingly by the Thayerges.
It explains what Lily means by fire. It is a theory we have been testing. These things are made of pure ice. We thought that blessings from various fire spirits could be things that could stem tides in the frozen.
It seems as though, at least in his case, it was enough. He was able to forge into the storm to face the thing at its center and to break it in half.
To nods, I will consult with Mark of Thorns, Raya, and Tirfing, Raya. Bring your report to the Right Master, and perhaps if any of your theurges are available, we will work with them. We might begin working on large chimneys to fire to make another various fire spirits. Perhaps there could be something we could use. Think, you can see she's like the gears are turning. You know what I mean?
There's the business-like nod of, yes, of course, I will do that.
She just gives a nod.
There was another thing, however, that I thought I should bring to you in particular.
Yes.
As we bypassed Wolfsmaw and went into the snow. I did at first just hear my name called by the wind, and I didn't know what to think of it. It was a voice I recognized. Thought perhaps it was my own mind. But as we continued, I did see something off the path. It looked very similar to how you look on the other side of the gauntlet.
Up the mountain or further in the land of the north?
The mountain.
I have heard stories that the mountain does strange things to the mind. But I am not a Gither Fenris, I would not know. I do know that if you go further out, well, that is supposedly where many of these things lie.
It could very well be the workings of my mind. I just thought the question that she asked me was... it was the same kind of riddle I'd expect out of a spirit.
Perhaps that is the point. It gives you what your mind sees and then asks the question that you don't wish to answer.
I suppose it's possible.
There is no supposing generally with spirits. Or there is, but sometimes there's not. But I am not a Gither Fenris. I could tell you that deep in the ice there are many different things that play tricks on the mind.
I perhaps wouldn't have thought much of it, except that this isn't a kind of spirit that I am very familiar with. It's not something I would expect my mind to call up.
No, but you have been... How can I say this? Considering all the things you did for Layla Alexandris and Mopsius, perhaps that is a call to that thing there. And how you feel. Perhaps it is the guilt you feel over Johanna. Medusa is a thing that was wronged, violated. Perhaps there is a part of you that feels that. For the things you have lost and the things you saw lost.
And bless her heart, there may be a rank gap, but Charlotte's nodding, thinking, and much like Forgotten Earth was doing a mere moment ago, she's processing, digesting, thinking about it. Could I tell you in confidence what she asked me?
It is not.
She asked me if I wanted justice or I wanted to be just.
A very pertinent question. This is not the thing you are striving for, no? I hear you talking to my alpha about it all the time.
It is.
Then what are you afraid of? Maybe your own mind is asking the same thing.
Perhaps so.
Maybe you should come up with an answer, Raya. It's a shoulder, smiling. Not in a condescending way, just that's rough, buddy. You know what I mean?
Buddy.
Yeah.
There's another thing. No, I appreciate the clarification. All right.
She just gives an incline of her head.
No. I will not take any more of your time. Thank you.
It is no problem.
What was it?
It is no problem.
And she gives a nod and goes ahead and les struts.
You want a dear key?
Yes.
Good.
I do.
B.
Ugh.